Hello, and welcome to the Knitting Traditions episode. This is not a podcast per se. I've been wanting to do a few little different videos in between the podcasts whenever I have something to talk about. So two videos that I've been thinking about is doing a 2022 recap. I'm not feeling too good. I've been sick for a week, so I might not record that today, but I do have quite a bit of stash acquisitions that accumulated through the last part of 2022 that I didn't really bring along to show on the podcast. So I figured I would do a little mini stash video. It's not all of my stash. I have quite a substantial stash. I'm quite blessed that way. I like to go shopping in my own stash, so to say, find a yarn and find a pattern that suits it, and let the creativity flow. And I got quite a lot of beautiful yarns. Excuse my voice, can't really do anything about it, but drink something warm. And so I hope that I can show you with okay lighting. It's the winter. I live on the west coast of Norway. This is peak light of day, and I even have a ring light. It's quite gloomy outside, so it is what it is. Hopefully it's okay to see, and I will show you quite a bit of yarn now. If acquisitions is not something you enjoy watching, just skip this episode and come back in the future. And let's get into it. So, maybe, I don't even know where to begin. Maybe we can start with some cones that I bought. Now, on the top of my head, I'm a horrible podcaster, so I don't do my research. I don't remember the name of this store, but I was on the lookout for silk mohair cones. Not polyamide content, not nylon content, just silk mohair cones. I really do enjoy putting silk mohair together with my other yarns, and I do have quite a substantial cone stash by now of fingering weight yarn, and a lot of time I do enjoy pairing it with silk mohair. But silk mohair is quite expensive. I don't have that much in my stash as other yarns, wool yarns. So I was looking for to see if there was any cones that sold silk mohair, and I know that Knitting for Olive used to sell cones, but they don't anymore, at least not the last time that I checked. So I asked some fellow podcaster friends if they knew of any, and I was tipped about two stores in Eastern Europe. I think it was Latvia, but I might be mistaken, so I'm gonna put the links down below to where I got these. I believe the yarn is produced in Italy, but it's sold through this online store, and I think they have worldwide shipping. And those two stores were the only place I was able to find silk mohair on cones. There might be other resources. Please share below if you know of any. I got, and you paid for the weight, but I believe that the total cost was cheaper than buying silk mohair balls, the 25-gram balls that I usually get. Drops Kid Silk is quite affordable, but usually silk mohair is more on the expensive side. I found this to be affordable, so I got quite a lot of this color, which is just a white, like a bleached white, and I haven't knit with it yet. It feels like a silk mohair. It's not the softest. I think the Isager silk mohair is the softest that I've ever felt, but I think it's going to be really nice. And I also like to pair white silk mohair with other colors when I don't find a good fit in a silk mohair color. I often opt for just a white colored one. So that is something that I'm thinking of doing. I like to pair with my socks, so I got quite a bit of this one. I don't remember how much, but I'll put it on the screen. So this is the plain color that I got that I think will have multiple uses in my stash. So this was really a stash enhancement. I don't have a set plan for it. I have many things that I'm thinking I will use it for. They had a lot of beautiful colors. I had a hard time deciding. I have, like I said, I have a lot of fingering weight cones, a lot in green and brown and neutral tones. So the white will go with a lot of those. I didn't find a brown that I loved, so I didn't buy a brown one. And I didn't want to buy too many cones either because I want to try out how I like it first. And if I love using it, then maybe I'll invest in some more colors. But I did get this color. I have been loving sort of this lighter green recently, ever since I made my Guernsey Genser, which is more of like a green apple color. This one is a bit, maybe a bit like cooler tone than that one, but it's beautiful. And I definitely got a sweater's quantity, probably 2 sweater quantities if I look at it. Again, I'll put it here how much, if I can figure it out on my order, how much I got. So yeah, I really enjoyed this color. I hope it turns out okay on screen. What can we do? It's winter. And I got a third color as well, just because I love the dark greens as well, and I have a lot of dark green fingering weight wool in my stash, and this is going to go beautifully with it. I think it's showing up a bit browner on camera. I checked before, because I can't see what you see, but before recording this I checked that I was in sight of the frame and it's a bit more like foresty green than what it shows up as. I'm sorry about that. I tried different settings, but here we are. It's beautiful, just trust me, it's really nice. I do believe I got a little bit less of this one than this one, but I'm not sure. It might just be that they are differently spun onto the cone, but definitely enough for a sweater's quantity. And I do have, like I said, some cones in my stash that's gonna go really well with this. And I mean, I use mohair on its own as well. I think I've made 3 sweaters in the past 12 months that were just a single strand of silk mohair on 3mm needles. 2 self-drafted, and one of them was the Hillisvog from Garn, the Soft for Women magazine. And I do love those sweaters. They are so tiny, lightweight. They typically weigh around 100 to 125 grams, so it's quite nice. And a good layering piece. So those were the 3 silk mohair colorways that I got, and I'm really happy, and I'm excited to start using them, and hopefully they are really lovely. I've held them up against my neck. They don't seem to itch. I'm not that sensitive to mohair. A lot of people are different. Some people are sensitive to mohair. Some people are sensitive to alpaca. Some people are sensitive to wool. I find that I feel the scratchiness of wool, but it doesn't itch me, if you know what I mean. Like, I can feel that it's more rustic, but I don't react to it. Alpaca, on the other hand, if it's not a super soft alpaca, I find myself getting red in this area and itching. I don't do that with mohair. Only my forehead. My forehead is sensitive to anything. This yarn here is a Turkish yarn that I got. I thought it was 100% wool, but it does have an acrylic content in it. It's very soft to the touch, but it still itches my forehead, so. Oh, I'm gonna try not to spill coffee on myself. I almost did, and I did before recording this, so my t-shirt is wet on the bottom. If you can see that, it's because I was gonna cheers for you guys and I spilled coffee on me, so there you go. I'm a klutz. One final thing that I had, I didn't have to, but I felt like I had to get it from their store, was this yarn. And this is just beautiful, trust me. If it doesn't show up, it's a very interesting color. It has different aspects to it. Blue, brown, yellowy tones. And, oh, maybe I have the cheat sheet in here. The store that I ordered it all from is woollyyarn.com, and it's from Riga. I've been to Riga once. They didn't have this as a store when I was there, I believe. Or maybe they did and I just couldn't find it. But yeah, it's from Riga. And let's see. So the silk mohair is superfine kid mohair 70% with 30% silk component. And it doesn't say on here how much I got of it, I think. I can't understand this this order sheet. But this thing right here, this beauty, this is 50% baby yak, 40% cashmere wool, and then 10% polyamide, which I believe is for the strength of the central cord that the fibers are blown onto. And I'm fine with that. 10% polyamide to have this yak cashmere softness. And this is really soft. I find a silk mohair soft, but this is just a whole nother league. And I'm really, really, really happy with this. The color is beautiful. I'll see if I can put the color name here. The fiber content is delicious. And I'm really excited to see how this knits up. I want to find a perfect pattern for this. I want to hold it on its own, I think, just because it needs to shine. And I want to feel how it is and how it holds up. With this kind of soft fibers, the softer the fiber, the more it pills, I often find, unless it's a very tightly spun. And if I hold silk mohair with it, it holds the fiber so it doesn't pill as much. But if I want to hold this on its own, I'm thinking that it's going to pill a lot. So we'll see. If it does pill a lot, I might pair it with the silk mohair in the future just to decrease the pilling. But if I do love it, I want to get more colorways in this stunning base right here. So yes, those were one of the acquisitions that I got last year that I didn't show you yet. And what should I start with? So my cousin and I, we went on a trip where we drove to Bergen, which is 3.5 hours south of where I live. My parents live in Bergen and I grew up there large parts of my life. And on the way to Bergen, you drive by the Hillisvog mill, which is one of my favorite Norwegian yarn manufacturers. I believe it's Hillisvog and the Rauma of like the commercial Norwegian wool brands that uses the most amount of Norwegian wool. So sourced in Norway, not imported fibers, which I think is great. And I also really just love their bases, especially for functional warm knitwear where you want to have a layering piece that is really warm but not too thick. I love their Tinde base, and their Solje base is, or is it the Usk? The Usk base is gorgeous for colorwork, so huge fan. They don't pay me or anything, I'm just a huge fan. And last year I knit the Tulip sweater by Melody Hoffman in their unspun roving. And a lot of people have heard of Nutidin. Manchalopi is getting bigger on the market. Plötelopi is accessible lots of places. But the Hillisvog is more of an unknown, smaller production. I got some plates and I made the Tulip sweater and I've worn it a lot. It's just so soft and so warm. So I wanted to get some more fibers. I also made the Amy slipover last year in the Hillisvog one. Gorgeous. And that one I held together with the silk mohair, so that one doesn't pill, while the Tulip, which I held with the unspun double, that one does pill. So I'm gonna keep that in mind for future knitting with it. And yeah, I wanted to get some more yarns from them, so I had quite a large yarn haul there because we stopped at the mill before going further on a trip because we were going to take a boat to Denmark, and I have some more acquisitions from there to show you. But I figured we could start with the Hillisvog yarns. So here we are. It looks like a lot of fiber. It is a lot of fiber, but it's unspun, most of this, so there's a lot of air trapped in it. That's what I'm telling myself. So I'm gonna just take it out of the bags and then show you what I got. Okay, so let's start with this one. So except for one cake unspun. These are all undyed, I believe, so the natural colors of the sheep. And oh man, it smells like a sheep that hasn't been completely washed yet, and I love it. If I had a dog, the dog would love this. So if you have pets, treat them to some of this. It's beautiful. This is actually the color that I made my tulip in last year, I believe. This is what I had left. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are intended to be the same. It's a bit warmer toned in the cakes, so it's definitely a different batch. It might even be a different yarn altogether. I think they just call them light gray, dark gray, those kind of names, or they didn't even have names. When I went to the store, there were 2 cakes in the store upstairs at the mill, and I asked a woman working there sorting the fibers if they had any more, and then she ran in between the machines to the back and she came out with lots of them. So they definitely have them, they just don't showcase them. Probably it's not their it's not something that people normally knit with. This is something new to the knitting community, I believe. I don't see a lot of Norwegian people knitting with unspun. It's definitely more hyped up in the internet knitting community, and I just hope that more people try it because it's lovely. The fabric is lovely. But yes, so I had this left from the tulip sweater, and now I have 2 more, and I think that this could get me. Now I don't remember if I used 2 cakes to make the tulip sweater or if I had to break into a third one. I think I might have gotten away with 2. If not, I do have this. I could use this for the edging to make a cropped sweater. So there's that. But what I was thinking when I got this fiber, I was thinking that I want to make another Amy slipover in this color because I have made it in the dark gray, like a charcoal gray, and it would be really nice to have a light one to throw over more like colorful dresses and shirts and stuff. So I think that would be really nice. This is what I have left over after making the Amy slipover, which was knit single strand, and these come spun up. I should say that these come up already spun up with 2 strands together. So if you want to knit with a single strand, you have to unravel it and ball it up. A lot of people do prefer knitting with this yarn balled up, find that it breaks less easily. I think my new favorite way of knitting with it is pulling from the center of the cake. I find that works really well for me. So if I want to make the Amy slipover again in this, I would have to ball it up and divide them. If not, it would be very thick. So I might have a little think about that. But that is one of the things I'm thinking of making with it. For reference, I do have the Amy slipover here, so since I'm talking so much about it, I might as well show it. Again, this is a pattern from Sannes Garn in the Myk til dame, or soft for women. It's a beautiful slipover. I personally prefer my version over the one with the original yarn because the unspun just gives such a softness, lightness and warmth. So it's not heavy at all, but it's warmer, and yeah, I like to just wear it this way. I really like it. It's got ties at the sides, so it's really easy to throw on and off. I am not a person who wears slipovers, but I wear this to death, and I want to have more of it in this yarn combination. 1 strand of unspun, 1 strand of silk mohair. The silk mohair I used for this was a silk mohair from Yarny, which is a commercial Norwegian one, quite similar to Drops Kit Silk. So yeah. So I did love this color a lot, and my boyfriend keeps saying when I wear this that it's really nice, and he doesn't usually say that because I wear knitwear every day. So if he says that, that means that it's a good color. So I wanted to get some more. And I got 4 plates of it. So this should be enough for a big sweater. I have been playing around with knitting, I believe Anna Passe Trevino. She has a podcast here on YouTube. She's a stunning maker. She makes beautiful things, and she made, I think it's the Lou sweater from the same magazine. Both her and I have been knitting a lot from the Soft for Women magazine from Sandnesgarn. I believe she made the Lou Genser, and she made it in Hillisvog unspun, I believe. So I know that that would be a really, really nice fit, so I might make that one. B Mandarins or Melody Hoffman has a lot of beautiful patterns that uses Plötulopi or Nutiden, so those would be a good fit for this yarn as well. She recently released a tunic, which is gorgeous, and I do think this should be enough. Each plate is about 200 grams. There's also the Versal by Albiona McLaughlin. Did I say that awfully? I don't know. I just bought that pattern 2 nights ago when I was sick and feeling sorry for myself. That one also uses unspun yarn, I believe, in one of the versions. So I might make that one as well. Thinking about all these things that I would like to make with this color, I might just need more of it in the future, but that mill is accessible to me, so I probably should just start knitting and then I can get more later. I also really wanted to gift this to someone, one of them, as a surprise, but we'll see. Oh, it's just, you just want to hug them. They're just a warm hug. Yeah. To me, this is, at least, the Nutiden is really soft, but somehow this feels even softer. And I also got 2 in the more medium gray color. Again, thinking of making a slip over or some accessories. It would be really nice to try and see how a hat would be for me, if it would be scratchy or if I just make it really loose, if it would be okay. I think it would be okay. I'm seriously considering switching my pillows out with unspun roving cakes because it's so nice. So yes, those were the colors that I got that were undyed. I did also get one of these. So this is a discontinued colorway, and this one is colored, I believe. So they said that this was a brown fiber base, but it looks sort of mauvey purpley toned, and it was the last one they had and it was slightly discounted. I don't think they're bringing it back. I got it just to have the option of doing some color work. If I want to do a sweater pattern that has a bit of color work, then this could be really nice together with the other ones. It's not my typical go-to color, but I thought it was pretty, and if I don't use it in color work, I could also use it for accessories, like a hat or a cowl or something. So yeah. When I was there with my cousin, and she was looking to get some sock yarn. So I was tempted to also get a few more sock skeins because at the time I was knitting sock tubes with cut-in heels for gifts, and with their DK weight sock yarn, it just goes faster, especially when I pair with a silk mohair. So I wanted to get some more colorways from them. So I got a range of brown tones. So this is the Fjord Sokkegarn 2. I've knit with it before. My brother got a pair of socks in this and he loved them. It's 80% Norwegian wool and 20% nylon. and it's the color beige in the Sokigantu. And let's see, I believe it's 250 meters to them. I also got the color dark brown. So those were those two. And then I got the color brown. So brown, dark brown, beige. And then I also just got a bleached white. I do really love how the bleached white looks together with other colors in socks. It's not the most practical, I know, but it's okay. In Norway, people don't wear shoes inside, so the floors inside are usually clean enough to wear white socks. It's fine. These could also be a nice sock pair. So we'll see. They're going into my stash for future gift knits. At least that's the plan. So that was all of the yarns that I got from the Hillisvog mill. I need some more coffee without spilling. After that, we got on the boat to go to Denmark. So you get on the boat in Bergen and then you arrive the next morning. So you sleep at the boat. You get to Hirtshals in Denmark and then you have to be there until the evening, and then the boat goes back and you're back the next day. So there isn't any yarn shopping on the boat, but when we got to Hirtshals there was a really nice yarn store there, and also the Isager store was like 15 minutes car ride away. So I really wanted to go there and my cousin wanted to come with, so we did. So I think I'll take the yarns out and show you. So, the Isager yarn was on top, so I'm gonna start with that. Sorry. So in the store, beautiful store. If I still have footage from it, I'll put it at the end. They had so many samples, so I didn't really know where to start. So I went around and I looked at the samples. And then I saw this one. I'm gonna take it out. This is called the Blomkål, and the photo on the paper is not doing it justice because it has a lot of beautiful structure to it. I think I tried it on in the largest size, that's what the sample was in, which was the extra large, and it was just like a huge, cozy, oversized sweater. So I'm thinking I wasn't gonna make the extra large because it was huge, and I could still do an L and have it be oversized. I'm thinking this is a nice, I would say, unisex sweater. So if I make it in large, it could fit more than me. It could fit my boyfriend and brothers. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And the pattern uses Isager tweed in the color sand, together with Isager alpaca in the color 0. Alpaca 1. They have different alpaca bases, but the alpaca 1 in the color 0 Eco. So I'm gonna make the large. So I bought a yarn kit for it. And I bought the kit that is used in the sample that they had and is in the photo. So these are the 2 yarns that I got. Now, I will say that Isager is not the most affordable yarn in Scandinavia. Wool fibers in the States and Canada can be quite expensive, but you can get really affordable wool fibers here in Norway, at least. Isager is a bit more high-end when it comes to the commercial wool brands in Scandinavia, but we spent so much money to get there with a cab. It was more expensive than we thought it was gonna be, so we felt like we had to invest a little bit because we're probably never gonna go back. So I got this kit, and yeah, the color was sand and the color eco, and I'm gonna make that sweater. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna cast on because I do have a lot of things that I want to knit, and for once Matthias has actually said he wants something, so maybe I'll do that first. But this is definitely yarn with intent, kit ready to go. So that was one thing that I got at Isager. I also got another color combination. I'm not sure if I'm going to make the exact same sweater, but I know that those two fibers together makes for like a nice DK weight. So I thought that this tweed right here was really beautiful as well. This is, does it say? This is the color oak, and it was just stunning. It's 200 meters to 50 grams. It's 70% wool and 30% mohair in this Isager tweed. And then I got this alpaca one to go with it. And this is 400 meters to 50 grams. So you need fewer of this than the amount of skeins you need of this to pair them. And this is the color E2S. But yes, so this is one combo, and this is another combo. Same yarns, just different color families, and I think it's gonna be really nice. Let's see. I also got some sock yarn from Isager. I do enjoy, parts of the years I enjoy knitting socks. Other times I can go months without wanting to pick up a sock. But I do think that knitting a tube and cutting in the heel in the end is a good way for me to be okay with knitting socks. So I wanted to try their sock base. So this is the Isager sock yarn. It says that it's made in Peru. It's 40% easy wash alpaca, 40% easy wash merino, and 20% recycled wool. So I'm a bit unsure if this is a superwash. I think that easy wash might be a new term for a different way of treating yarns that isn't as environmentally bad for the environment, but I'm not sure, so you might have to just look that up yourself. But it says easy wash, and it doesn't feel as rubbery as superwash yarns do, but I might just be fooled by this. But yes, I got a big one and a small one. This one has 193 meters of 50 grams, and this is 100 grams of 387. So it's basically a fingering weight. And I'm thinking of doing socks with contrasting heels and toes. So that I wanted to try their base, and I mean the color is just everything that I like. So other things that I got there, I bought some of their silk mohair. Their silk mohair is my favorite silk mohair to date. I believe it's just the softest to touch for me, compared to, I mean, it's quite similar, but this is a tiny bit softer, it feels like. But it might just be that these are spun tightly onto cakes that makes them less soft. But yeah, I do love this one. This is the color 0. So I got, I think, 5 or 6 of it, which is enough for a big sweater for me. So that this is going into my stash. No, I got 4. I got 4 of them. So it's enough for a regular sized sweater for me. Or a cropped boxy sweater. It should be enough as well. So I got these ones. They're going into my stash. I might pair them with another yarn that I got there, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pair them or use them separately. So this is the Isager Twinny. This is the color 6S. I got 3 of them, which should be enough for me. So here you can see the logo, and it's 100% clean new wool, pure new wool. It's made at Skivegarn in Denmark. 100 grams is 510 meters, and it's just a beautiful, like a beigey white cream color. So yes, those were, so 2 sweater quantities plus this one. So this is the 3rd sweater quantity, and a bit of silk mohair is what I got at the Isager, and that was plenty. Plenty for me. I did also go to the local yarn store in Hillisvog, and I got some yarns that I'm not able to get locally to me here. So some Danish yarns, I believe. Let's see if they... the store was Rätt och Vrang in Hillisvog, and they put the yarn that I bought in this red tote bag, so I could also remember the name of the store, which is really nice. That's not why they gave it to me, but it allowed me to remember the name now. So I got 2 yarns there. One of the yarns is the Design Club Duo. It's a DK weight yarn. It says, no, I'm saying DK weight yarn, but it's not. DK is the initials for Denmark, so this is a fingering weight yarn. This is the Duo. It's 540 meters. This is 2-ply merino lamb's wool, and it's 100 grams. So it's like light fingering to a lace even. And this is the color 508. They had only 2 in this color, and they didn't have, I was looking for like a white or light color, but they didn't have it. But I thought this brown was just gorgeous, so I got it. I got 2 of them, and I have this circular lace baby blankets on my knit list. It's been on there for years. It's probably going to take a long time to knit, so it's been on there so that I could knit it and have it as like a gift for someone really special, if someone really special gets a child, or maybe I'll just keep it and have it on the couch. But this color I thought would be gorgeous for that pattern, so I got these 2, and hopefully it's going to be enough. We'll see. If not, I might just whip up something self-made. But yes, I got those 2. And then I had a really hard time deciding. They had Hjelholz Ullspinnery in their store. They also had a different Danish yarn there, and I had a really hard time deciding what to try, but I felt like I had already bought so much yarn, so I needed to restrain myself a little bit. So I ended up getting 3 skeins of the Hjelholz Ullspinnery, the merino yarn, which is 10/2. It's a 2-ply wool yarn. It's spun at the Hjelholz Ullspinnery mill, which is in Fyn, which I believe is where Lerke from Fiber Tales live. And this is made of Falklands merino. It's 500 meters to 100 grams, so it's slightly thinner than a fingering weight, so like a light fingering. And I just thought that it was gorgeous. And I don't know if there is an actual color. It says which batch it is, so maybe it's an undyed fiber, like a dark charcoal one. And it's just really soft. It's softer than it looks. It doesn't really have any long guard hairs sticking out, so it's beautiful. So yeah, I got these 3. It should be enough for a sweater for me, so I have like 1500 meters right here. I can hold it on its own and make a thinner sweater, or I could pair with a silk mohair. Decisions. But yes, so that was the final acquisitions that I got when I was in Denmark. we're not done. No, we're not done yet. So this is why I wanted to do a whole video of acquisitions, because it's gonna be long. So when we came back, my father was going to visit my grandmother, and I had some time off still, so I went with him to see her. And she wanted some more yarn because she doesn't really get out of the house anymore. So she wanted me to get her some more yarn to make socks. And they have this big warehouse close to where she lives. They sell a lot of yarn online, very discounted yarn. I don't know how they do it, but I went there to get her some yarn and I was tempted. So I did stash up a bit there because it was very affordable. I already made a sweater out of some of the yarn that I got there. Let's see. So we have a bag. We have a bag of yarns. So I did invest in some more silk mohair. So I bought the cones, but they hadn't arrived yet. And I don't have that much silk mohair in my stash. I have a lot of yarn that's just waiting to be paired with something. So I haven't tried this before. This is Kid Silk by Merinor. It was a brand that they carried. I haven't heard of it before, so it might be new. Or it might be a brand that's changed their name. I'm not completely sure. This is the color 10, which is a sort of pinky toned neutral, which I thought would be nice to pair with some other yarn that I have. I have some knitted in the color Vibeke, and I think they could work nicely together. I'll see if I can hold it up. Now it might be too light to pair with this. I would have to do a swatch to see, but it doesn't, it's more in the same color family than a white silk mohair would be. Let's see if I can, if that shows up okay. So it's more similar toned. So that was something that I had in mind when I got this one. Let's see what else is in the bag. Okay. I also got a sweater's quantity of this. So if you've seen my Guernsey Genser before, the Isager silk mohair that I used in that was a very similar color to this, and I loved it. This was a lot more affordable, so I decided to stash up on some of this color. I still have a bit of the knitted left, so I'm thinking to pair it with this to see if maybe I can get a slip over out of the leftovers or a hat or something like that. So yes, also I do have a cone from Woolly Knit in a light green that I think would also work really well with this silk mohair. So that was the thought of this. So adding to the stash to use with stash that's already there. That's my way of reasoning. They also had just 2 cakes in this color, which if you hold it up you can see that it's in the same family, but it's a lot lighter. They only had 2 of it, but I thought it was beautiful. This is the color, come on, this is the color 47, when this is the color 18. So this one I didn't really have a plan for it. It's just 2 balls, so I can't really make a garment out of it, but I'm thinking it would be nice for accessories, or even to pair it with a white yarn to add some color interest to it and do socks or something like that. So yeah, I got those 2. I also got 4 in this color. Again, Drops Kid Silk. This is the color 34. So I have a garment that I made last year. Everything fell down. I made this sweater in the Gepard silk mohair tweed, and I thought that this was quite similar to it. It's the same sort of tone. It doesn't have as much of a tweedy effect as this, because this is a unicolor, so it's just a single color. But I thought it was really beautiful, and I've loved this color. And I have some cones again I think will look really well with this. So I got some of this to pair with some cones. We'll see what happens in the end, but that was the idea. I also got some Kid Silk Erle. This is a yarn which is produced by Dalegarn in Norway. It's 56% mohair, 26% silk, and 18% wool. So it is a silk mohair, but it also contains a bit of a wool content. So it's not as smooth as a silk mohair. It might, yeah, but it feels a little bit more woolly, but still in a very, very soft and nice way. Maybe like a bit more earthy. I don't even know if I'm making sense. But yes, I got this. I thought the color was beautiful. It was again on sale, and everything was on sale. And I have a cone in wool in it that I did get some silk mohair to pair with it, but I haven't started because I haven't been quite sure if I like the colors together. So I also got these, and then I can swatch and pick which one I like to do. I was thinking a cowl. I might also think about a sweater now. We'll see. But if not, I have enough of this to make a sweater. I've made a sweater using 2 strands of Erle held together before, and I love that sweater. It's held up really well. So I know that I like the yarn. So yeah, this is an acquisition. I think I got 4, which should be enough. The ball bands have fallen off, they always do. It's 325 meters and it's 50 grams to this. I also got this charcoal version of the Drops Kid Silk because I did buy the Hillisvog in the charcoal, and I do prefer holding it with silk mohair. It just pills less and it holds up better. So they had this charcoal color in the Drops Kid Silk. It's again a unicolor in the color 22. So I also invested in this. I think I got probably 6 cakes. Yeah, I got 6 of this one, so it should be enough to make a sweater. And since I'm holding it together, if I run out, I can always buy more. I don't think the lots differ that much when it's such a big brand, but we'll see. It should be enough to get me started at least. It could also be held together with this if I decide that I want to hold it together with something. So, yeah. A final fluffy yarn that I got is the alpaca silk by Drops, the brushed alpaca silk. And this color is, what is this color? It's the color 2. And I got a sweater's quantity out of it. Now, I've knit a sweater with this before. I actually designed a sweater that I've since taken away from Ravelry because, I don't know, I was quite new to knitting when I designed it. The sizing for the bigger sizes, I just wasn't happy with it. So I've taken it down since. But I do really love the feeling of that garment, and I would like to make myself something with it again. I'm not sure if I'll hold it to just with this strand or if I'm gonna pair it with some of my cones. I might do that. I just really liked the color that this had, so I got that as well. That was all of the fluffy yarns that I bought there. I also got some Drops Alaska. So these are the 2 colors that I got. I don't have the ball band on this anymore. This is the color 66, and this was like a creamy beigey white, and it was like $1 a ball. It was very affordable, and I haven't used it before. I've seen other people make it. There's lots to be said, but you can't really trace where the fibers, and you can't trace, how do you say this? With drops, you don't really know where things are coming from, or at least I haven't been able to find anything about like how ethical the company is. It's quite affordable and accessible to many people. It's what was accessible where my grandmother lived. So I got her some sock yarn, and I was tempted by the sale, so I'm human. It was really nice to knit with. I've had a lot of the silk mohair in my stash previously that I've been using, and it's good. And it's affordable. Ethically, I don't know. So make with that what you want. I made a sweater with this that I freestyled, and I'm gonna show it on the podcast, but yeah, this is what I made. This huge cozy sweater used up a lot of yarn. I think just for the brown stripes it was 3 balls of yarn, and for this one it's like 14 or 13 balls of yarn. So it's a yarn guzzler, and it's quite heavy. So this one weighs almost 2 kilos probably, or 1.5. I can't do math. Closer to 2. No, that doesn't make sense, does it? Definitely a kilo. Whilst this sweater that I just finished is 125 grams. So, oops. Huge difference right there. So this is not probably going to be something that I throw on every day just because it feels heavier, but it's going to be very nice and snuggly when I want like a heavy, warm garment. Make sense? Yeah. So those were all of the yarny acquisitions, except, so I bought the Zakami Advent last year, and when I bought the Advent I also bought a sock kit per se for myself that came together with the Advent, just so I didn't have to pay shipping twice. And this is a base from Zakami that I think I saw on their Instagram post, and I was just intrigued by the fibers. So this is undyed yarn, this one right here. It's a 50% baby camel and 50% silk in a fingering weight. And it's just the softest. Just so soft. And I got this mini to go with it, which is the color brown. It's 100% undyed, super fine, natural brown alpaca. And 200 yards per 50 grams. It's a fingering weight as well. And I was thinking of making myself a pair of socks with this. But it's just so soft that I kind of feel it would be a shame to make socks with them. I have never knit with anything camel before, so that's new to me. And this is alpaca. It's a really nice soft alpaca. We'll see. So before Christmas, I received a parcel in the mail that I had no idea was coming. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. It was a very nice surprise, a Christmas gift from Hege Christine, who runs the To Be Knitted, I believe it's an Etsy shop. She's definitely on Instagram. She makes stitch markers, and I have several of them behind me. I've been gifted some, I've bought some, I just think they're really beautiful. And for Christmas she sent me some stitch markers. And yeah, it was a complete surprise. Don't have to show it on here, but I will, because I think they're beautiful. So what I've gotten from her in the past are more of the like gemstone-y ones. Let's see. These are one of my favorite ones that I bought last year. This time she also sent me some Halloween-y witch one. There's a bee, there's like a lantern, and then some dark stones. And then some golden ones, again with a bee, because she's to be knitted. A leaf, and some stones again. Beautiful. And the final one, these beautiful stones right here. So I'll link her shop below. I really enjoy them, so thank you, Hege Christine. That was a very nice Christmas surprise. Okay, I think that was all of the acquisitions that I have not shown you in the last year. This room is a mess now, and I need to organize my stuff. I might need more space, or just need to be smarter with my storage. And yeah, I think that's all for today. I hope to record again soon with like a 2022 recap, and just a regular podcast episode again would be nice. So if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I hope you find some inspiration. There's both Nordic fibers here and some fibers more easily accessible to everyone. Hillisvog, if you're interested, they do have on their website a page which shows you all the stores in the world that carries their fibers. So maybe you can get your yarn through one of those stores. So yeah, thank you and goodbye.